Well, the floor's out. What's going on, guys? How's everybody doing today? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the garage. So it is a very moist few days, or has been a very moist few days here in Pennsylvania, and the rest of the week is not looking good with all these hurricanes and stuff. It's just going to be wet. But needless to say, our big job that we still have to do for the truck is currently outside. So tonight is probably the best night to do it. Every other night this week it's supposed to rain. So we're going to try and get the bed gutted tonight. We're at least going to start hacking this thing up. I honestly have no idea how long it's going to take. I do have a pretty good game plan. As you can probably see, I already have the fender wells out and the supports for the wheel well here. Got them all out and laying on the ground over here. I also have the bed suspended by come-alongs. It is currently floating. A lot of times on guys' race trucks, normally what you see is they just have like a bedside and then they have brackets going down in the frame of the truck. We're not going to do that in the interest of time and to kind of simplify things. We're basically going to cut out the center section of the bed here. We will leave this support here in the front and the one back here at the very back of the truck, so you can see the mounting hole there. Basically that will give us our threads. We won't have to make any brackets or anything. We'll be able to just set the bed back on the truck, bolt it in those 4 original mounting holes. What I'm currently thinking is we're just going to kind of rough cut it with the Sawzall. Up here I'll probably drill a hole or something and get a measurement so we can, you know, kind of rough cut that here, and then we will go down the corners here. I'm actually going to go around the wheel wells. I just haven't decided fully what I'm going to do there. And then same thing the rest of the way around. We'll let that drop out and see where we're at. So that's kind of the game plan for how this is going to go. We're not just going to have bedsides. We're actually going to kind of have just a gutted frame of the bed. With the Sawzall, it should be a fairly quick process to at least get it rough cut out. And I have the tailgate still on just to try and keep things sturdy. And, you know, we're just going to work this process. So that's kind of the plan. We're just going to rough cut it to start and then move on from there and see, you know, kind of how far we want to go. Like I said, we're going to kind of use the whole frame of the bed. Yes, it will be a little heavier than just having the bed sides, but it will also kind of expedite the whole process. Now you may be wondering, hey, why don't you just buy bed sides, or why don't you put fiberglass bed sides on it? Well, you got to remember the truck is a 4th gen. The only fiberglass bed sides that I can find are like the pre-runner style with like the 4-inch bulge or whatever. It just wouldn't look right, I don't think. And to buy a set of even aftermarket bed sides is not cheap. They're pricey. And let's be honest, it is an 8-foot white bed. They're kind of a dime a dozen, you know. Being able to get a bed off of a truck, you know, an 8-foot white bed off of somebody's work truck that they're putting a service body on or something, it's not uncommon. So it's not like this thing's in very high demand, and admittedly, it's not in the best shape either. I mean, if you look at the tailgate, as you can tell, it's a little bit crinkled. Nothing's really too bad, but nothing is perfect either. So that's enough rambling about what we're going to do. I'm going to figure out where I'm going to start my cuts, and let's get this thing gutted. I just thought about something. If you guys have been with the channel for a while, you might remember this, but when we bought the truck, I didn't know that this was like this. This will be a great starting point for our cuts if I can get a hold of it. Whoever had this truck before I bought it from the used car dealer, they were pretty creative. Let me grab a knife. They were pretty creative. As you can see, it kind of, we got some water here, but it looks like the bed is in, you know, fine shape, you know, with the spray-in bed liner and all. Well, needless to say, that's not the case. Yeah, we got duct tape covering up a hole in the floor with some more of this bed liner over top of it. You guys see the reason that I had purchased the truck, so it didn't piss me off. If anything, I was kind of impressed as to somebody coming up with this. I thought it was pretty creative. I didn't notice it until I think like 6 months after we were already working on the truck. But yeah, just a little creative way somebody was trying to scam or whatever. But yeah, so now it'll work for us to start our cuts. So I'll finish getting this duct tape off of here, and away we'll go with the Sawzall. Well, that's the first step done. This floor's out with all of those cross members and all. It's kind of hefty, but yeah, that wasn't too bad. Obviously, where we have our cross bracing, took a little more to get through, but other than that, not bad at all. So I think I'm just gonna slowly work at this thing. These braces kind of come up to here and then stop. I haven't decided fully what I'm gonna do with the wheel wells. I might even leave them. So what I'm thinking right now is we'll probably cut right here and then maybe even follow this line here. I haven't decided. We'll just kind of do it and see how it feels. As you can see on the front and the back is the same. The cut's not too straight because thinking is this cross member will just follow where it overlaps here on the bottom and then just use that as our straight edge. Yeah, so let's keep slicing and dicing. The driver's side of the truck is looking pretty good. Got all of the inner fender well out. The thing that I spent the most time on was up here. As you can see, the top part here. I was really worried about getting the Sawzall and going through the panel, but managed to be all right. Back here, I did mess with the spot welds a little bit. As you can see, all those holes. Really, it seemed like it was more trouble than it's worth. I did take the grinder down this way and clean that up a little bit. I haven't decided exactly what I'm going to do. If I'm going to try and chase the spot welds some more later, but that's not going to be tonight. I think what I want to do, because it is getting late, as you can see, the corners here need to take like a sanding disc and get rid of this piece here. But it's pretty well roughed out. I mean, even a little more than that. I did take the other part of this fender liner out. or fender well, if you will. There is a bolt here that bar connects to for the support, because if you look, this fender, the back side of the fender, I should say, it's pretty solid, but the front, not so much. So I'm hoping when we put that bar in, that was in there from the factory, put that back in, that stiffens that up. If not, we'll have to figure something out, because I don't think that's going to be too good. But I figure that we can move over and do the passenger side of the truck and the back here. I'm not going to mess with that top too much until I figure out what, you know, I'm going to do over here. So we'll just kind of get the majority of that out, and then we'll call it a night. So a little more saws on. I also got to clean up because there is just crap all over the place, and it's supposed to rain like we talked about earlier. So, all right, more cutting. All right, so the passenger side of the truck is looking comparable to the driver's side. I left the under bed rail part, if you will, kind of intact. Well, not intact, but I just didn't go as far as I did on this side. I still got to figure out what I'm going to do. My big problem with leaving that there's those sharp edges. So I don't know if I might try and take a sanding disc, see if I can clean them up, but I don't know. I might just, you know, take the time and get all them spot welds out, because the plastic trim piece that's on the ground over there, that'll go back on top here, because as you can see, it's not smooth. You kind of have to have that plastic piece on there, otherwise it looks, got a bunch of holes, looks all kinds of gnarly. And I will be getting rid of like this little box in the corner. I might leave just the sheet metal there like I'm hooked into, just in case we have to remove this thing at a later date. But you know, got to take a sanding disc here in the corner and just tidy things up a bit. Got to take the inner part, I guess, of this fender support out, just like we did over here. And the back here, I just kind of tidied this all up, made that nice and straight across the back. Once again, sanding disc here in the corners, try and clean that up. And I'm thinking I will eventually gut the tailgate, but I'm not going to remove the tailgate until we have this thing firmly planted on the truck. Just trying to keep a little bit of rigidity. Also, I think this front section we're going to get rid of. I think we're just going to cut, I haven't decided if we're going to cut it up here or just in the center, but we'll get rid of a lot of that. But because, well, every little bit helps. Also, I haven't decided up here, I might, you know, flush this off, but I want to have a little bit of support, so maybe I won't. I haven't decided. And here is all the shit we took off. The floor was definitely a lot heavier than I anticipated. Also, the fender well here, that actually has a little bit of mass to it. So the bed's pretty well gutted. We just got some tidying up really to do, get rid of some sharp edges, all that kind of stuff, because you know, you get the working in the back there on the truck and just don't need that hassle. So you need to clean that all up. I really wish that I knew what the bed weighed beforehand and after, like if we were to put it on the truck, weigh it, and then take it off and do this, whatever. But I would have just liked to know how much weight we're cutting off the truck, because I would almost want to bet we're almost cutting that bed weight in half. So yeah, it's certainly going to be a substantial savings, probably the most weight savings we've had so far. I think it'll probably be comparable to what we pulled out of the interior, because really the dash didn't weigh that much, and I don't know. But yeah, certainly some weight savings, that's for sure. We definitely Jenny Craig for diesel trucks going on here. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Get out in your garage, get the wrenching on your truck.